Hello, Key Biscayne. It is April 8th, 2020, and this is the No One's Listening Show, episode 170. I am your host, Rafa, and I am here with the wonderful panel. To my left is Anna.
Hi, I'm not even to your left. I'm to your back because our studio setup is whack. Hi, guys. Is anybody here?
What's going on? We're all here.
People.
Hi.
To his left, to her left is Lenny.
Hey guys, I got my mask on. I'm going to take it off because I'm indoors.
All right. To her left is Bobby.
What's going on?
Woo! And to his left is Manny.
Wait a minute, I can't drink a drink here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you
How'd you recognize me, Rafa?
Huh?
How'd you recognize me, man?
Hey, I think Griff is there. You might want to.
Whoa, Lenny, is that a mask?
Introduce him.
Is Griff part of the show? I'm not sure.
I think Rafa's punishing Jonathan right now.
He didn't come in for sound check. I'm not sure. Do you want to be on the show today, Griff?
Unmute him.
All right, Griff is here too.
Yay!
All right, let's start how we always start. Weekend talk. Did you guys do anything this weekend? Okay, I'll go
Can I
first.
take my mask off? Can I take my mask off, man?
I think it's okay. I think you're safe.
bud.
Okay, you know who's there? I can see who's there other than all of us talking to us. Do you see who's there?
We have a young fan.
Yeah, you know who that is?
No.
Because I do.
Is he part of the Crips?
Well, don't. Hey,
KV Crips?
this is something I gotta tell you guys something because we fucked up last time. Don't
What?
acknowledge the crowd until like comment section later because it just sounds bad and it's distracting. Like we're in the middle of a
We'll get to
conversation
it.
and you're like, oh look, a face in the button. No crowd acknowledgements. No.
Okay, got it. But Nash is the only one here, so we're cool.
All right, so tell me, you guys have any weekend talk or not?
Weekend talk.
You going to paddle? You see a boat? You see a thing?
I'll start. I'll start.
Okay.
I had a great weekend. Spent most of it at home, but I was able to carve out a little bit of outside time. I was able to take a paddle over to and do a cleanup. So a paddle and a cleanup, two of my favorite things.
Okay.
So I was able to do that. I did it by myself, which was really pretty cool. I mean, I've paddled alone before, but usually I'm more about being with people and that kind of stuff and connecting and all. And so I did the paddle out to the ski hole, and I brought a couple of buckets and all my cleanup gear, and I did something I've never done before. I did a Instagram live on Philibag, and I felt like I was with people. You know what I mean? Like I felt like it was we. It wasn't just me. Like I was out there giving them a look at nature, giving them a look at life, giving them a look at trash, and just because right now we're living vicariously through different things that we see, or how people, even how they live in their own house, and how they connect with their families, and a lot of the beautiful things that we see. So I felt like I was part of that.
The funny part is I want to make fun of your millennialness because you're older than us, but you're more connected to social media. But the truth is that I have been feeling somewhat connected to some people who do some live stuff on Instagram also. So I can't even make fun of it. I've been listening to this person that lives in Paris read poetry at noon every fucking day. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's silly, but it's cool, and so that's cool. I didn't see your live story, but I want to make fun of you, but I can't.
Well,
send me that.
have you
cool.
It's really cool.
What, you haven't seen the mustache?
Oh man!
That gives you something to make fun of, doesn't it?
I actually love mustaches, so I think it looks cool.
Watch out!
For the listeners, Manny has a mustache.
Watch out!
I always did, but it just had a beard around it, so now the beard's gone.
That's what it is.
And then later on that same day, when I went and did the cleanup, I was paddling back, and somebody was fishing off of a dock, and they got hooked up to a fish, and just as I was paddling by, and I was like, "Give me the rod!" So they gave me the rod, and I was taken
Who would have
by.
given you the rod?
Well, somebody that was fishing there, they gave me the rod. They were, I had gloves on and mask and all that stuff. But they handed me the rod, and it took me for a ride all around Nixon's, like between all the boats. There were a lot of boats out there, but luckily no one was rafted up, so there was a lot of space between. And it must have been a huge shark. I wish it was a tarpon, but I don't think it was. It must have been a huge shark. And somebody took a video of it, and they sent it to me. Or I paddled by their boat. I gave the guy my number, and he sent it over. So it was a cool little memory.
Cool.
Yeah.
I lost the fish.
Nice.
Is there a lot of people out on the water or what?
There were a lot this was on Saturday, and I would say, yes, there were a lot of people on the water. And what I also noticed, as I've done a couple of paddles, and I've seen that all the waterfront homes are full. Like everybody's quarantining in their beautiful Mashed Island house, like.
Of course. If you have a nice backyard, what a luxury.
And it's
right
a
now.
beautiful backyard, and like they're never there anyway. They're not usually there. Or if they're there, they're inside their house. But every day now at sunset, every house is full. It's pretty incredible.
Man, I'm so jealous.
Me too.
What, you don't have that in Kendall, Bobby?
No, I don't.
Well, you have a backyard.
I wanting to go on the boat, and the yacht club is not allowing that. I'm like thinking about dropping it in the middle of the night, but I'll be shamed by an email and something,
Right.
I guess the gatherings that have been going on over there have been serious.
I think that's a top.
Sent that on email.
I think that's a top. We're gonna look at that later. What about you on the weekend, Bobby? What'd you do? Did you work?
I worked on what day is today? So I worked on Saturday. It wasn't too bad, and so like Friday I didn't really do anything because I worked Saturday, and then Sunday I've just been working on the house. I've been, cleaning the garage. I painted the walls, and then I painted the floor today. So I've been house projects.
Nice.
For the last couple
You have any
Awesome.
corona cases or not?
We had one that was like possible, and my lieutenant got sick, and basically he's out right now. He hasn't tested positive or anything, but there's a lot of people out just because someone tested positive. Even though you're wearing the mask and all that, they'll put you on quarantine, depending on like whether high risk or low risk.
For like 2 weeks? What, they do 2 weeks quarantine?
Yeah, 14 days, but you still have to test that you're clear. So the whole problem right now is the department hasn't been testing. Like you can go test yourself, but they don't give you paperwork showing that you're clear.
Wow.
Kind of thing. So they're in the middle of that. And
I got some talk.
at the beginning, we weren't wearing a mask at every call. It was only a call that came in. Okay, it sounds like it could be COVID. So that's when it was at that time period. So now it's every call, no matter what, you're wearing the mask and the goggles, the sleeves.
Finally.
Kane's got the full body
Hazmat suit.
a bodysuit. We don't have those, but we'll see what happens.
Wow.
I had a fun weekend. Right, Rob?
Yeah.
On Friday night, we hung out on FaceTime or what's it called? WhatsApp, FaceTime, whatever. I started chatting up our friend Chip Harrison on FaceTime and started drinking some wine, and I was hanging out. And then Rafa came over and hung out with us, and we ended up talking to Chip for freaking 3 hours.
Oh, fun.
I remember
We
Chip.
were
He's a friend of the
wasted.
show.
We started drinking and just chit-chatting, and the conversations got intense. And towards the end of the night, it was about midnight, towards the end of the night, we brought up Chatroulette and how much Zoom and all of this communication online reminded us of Chatroulette. And Rafa and I were like, ooh, I wonder if it's still around and if it's still, super porny.
What's Chatroulette?
Okay, so Chatroulette is a thing that started maybe 10 years ago, and it's really simple. You go to a website, and you are automatically connected with another person
In
on
the
their
world.
in the world
Live.
on their webcam. Okay.
Oh, what?
So when it first started, it was like to meet random people and talk shit, and
And
it's
we
like
so
you're,
we were
you're
like,
bored, so let's go talk.
we would just put it on at a party, like on one of the computers at a party, and you could like walk up and wave at people, and you can just next people or whatever.
Yeah.
So you know,
So what happens is you get on.
Speed dating.
If the person doesn't like what you look like, they automatically click next, and you don't even have a chance to say hi. They're just like, I don't like you, and they next you. And
Swipe
then the
right,
other
swipe
thing that
right.
started happening with Chatroulette is that it turned into like this. It eventually turned into, now you can filter it kind of, but it turned into like a porn site for people with a fetish of jerking off in front of other people.
What? Oh my god.
So you connect, and 90% of the time, the first thing you see is somebody jerking their wiener. And then, and so you hit next, right? You're like, I don't want to see that.
It's horrifying. It's like horrifying.
Until you find somebody who's normal or who's like having a party or like doing something like that.
But because this was so long ago, we're like, well, I wonder, maybe that's not the case anymore. Or maybe Chatroulette doesn't even exist because it defeated the purpose of what it was for anyway, whatever.
Gives a whole new meaning to the term swipe right. You know.
So, guys, we go on chatroulette.com. And the first thing we see is a guy masturbating.
No.
And we were like, no. And it was hilarious. We were tipsy, but, kept swiping and spoke to some guy from Philadelphia, spoke with some guy in Milan for a second, spoke with some Russian dude that lives in South Florida. It was a weird... And we were on the phone with Chip, so like we would show Chip to the guy, like facing the phones together, and it was funny. We spoke about Amish people, it was a fun old school thing to do.
This is very scary. I think you're teaching people things that they didn't know about.
Chatroulette is a known thing, guys.
I don't like it.
It's also really fun for quarantine times.
There's a great video. There's a great video online of Ben Folds, the musician, and he's at a concert and he puts it on. So also like 10 years ago, and he puts it on the big screen behind him, so that the people on Chatroulette can see the whole crowd. So
that's
they're
awesome.
Suddenly going through, and you get connected, and you're in the middle of a concert. But of course, some of the people who showed up were jerking off people, so they're jerking off to a whole concert full of people.
That's hilarious.
And they probably love it because that's what they're there for.
So the interesting thing when you find someone who's actually like willing to have a conversation, I think for right now it was super interesting. The person we met in Philadelphia, his wife was a nurse, so she was at work and he was just home on a Friday night drinking Bud Lights, and we were home drinking God knows what, wine and beer or whatever. And he was telling us how things have been over there. We were telling him how it's been over here. And I think that's super cool. It's a good connect situation, Chatroulette. And one guy in Milan, and he was super, like, depressed. It was not okay. Yeah, it was also like 5 a.m. for him. Pitch black.
Quarantined and everything that?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, so we spoke to people from all over the place about being quarantined. I think it's super interesting. So that was Friday night. And then Saturday night, we did the same thing, but with Al Ricault.
And without the Chatroulette.
Without the Chatroulette. Rafa and him played guitar, and I just sat there staring at them.
What's odd is you really don't hear anything about California. He's over there, and on the news, you only hear about New York and South Florida, and everybody's just hanging out in California, I guess.
He's doing fine. He's been biking around. He says there's like no cars on the street, so he's taking advantage and biking all over the city and like enjoying the outdoors.
I think it's because a place like LA is much less dense than a place like New York. Same with Miami, very low density, so you don't get the crazy.
Hey, I hear there's a lot of people interested in buying real estate in Florida because of that, by the way.
What, because it's less dense?
Yeah, people are like, they keep seeing photos of like people paddleboarding and like it's so beautiful.
They're like stuck in an apartment, yeah.
They're like in their apartment. It's freaking hell in New York right now, and they're like, holy shit.
I know.
Florida. I don't know about.
I think anywhere that has land, people are going to start reconsidering kind of those lifestyles.
My guess is the real estate's going to go up here in Key Biscayne. Mark my words.
We also had
really.
Hope so.
Also had a lot of good. What's it called? Social distancing cocktails randomly on the street. Saw Tom there for a second. Told him to come over. 10 feet away. But then he got a bunch of phone calls that said, "You got to come back." Lenny giving him "You're not allowed to hang out with Rafa."
Yeah, he's in big trouble.
But that was nice. It's nice to go outside for a second.
Yeah, I have my quarantine. I know he was like 20 feet away from you, but he can't be trusted. And he has that beard that holds every single germ in there.
We were outside.
Lenny pulled the COVID card. That was it.
Good.
Get your ass over here.
Got to spray him down.
So that was the weekend. All right. Well, let's keep moving, I guess, unless you guys have anything to add.
Johnny, what'd you do this
Johnny,
weekend? Did
what'd
you
you
leave
do?
the house?
Didn't do anything again.
By the way,
Nothing.
I saw,
You're
I
looking
saw
pretty
photos of him
tan.
in Winn-Dixie. He was in Winn-Dixie one day, and I saw a photo.
It was after the show.
Yeah, I was.
Every time you step out of the house, it's like starting from scratch again, waiting a whole 2 weeks to see if you caught anything that time you went out.
I agree with you.
Your voice sounds a little hoarse.
Horrible.
So true.
Okay.
Especially now that Tom went to see Rafa, I got to start all over again.
Yeah, Bill,
Or do we got to start over again?
Do you guys
Bill
want to
Stevens
talk?
just chimed in. Bill Stevens says that Tom is on the SLP. You know what the SLP is, right?
Short leash program.
Yeah, the short leash program.
Leash program.
I think we're going to change it to CLP.
All right. So, do you guys want to move on to music, or do you want to move on to what's happening in Key Biscayne?
Music. I got music, and I'm not going to play music, but I have music.
Okay. What are you listening to, Lenny?
John Prine just died, and that song that he sing that what's her name from Memphis? What is it called? Manny, help me out here. I should have been ready, but I'm not. It's like Angel from Memphis that he wrote. Right? Is that what it's called? Heather probably knows because she's from Nashville. But one day someone will tell me. But it's John Prine. He died the other day. Amazing, amazing, amazing songwriter. Amazing. So.
All right. Song?
Yeah, so
Angel from Memphis.
Angel
Got
from
it.
Memphis. Yes, it's awesome.
All right. I got a song for you guys. I don't know why this song came up. I don't know. I was playing it on guitar or something. I saw it in a list. It's Stand by REM. Do you guys know that song?
Of course.
Rafa played it all weekend.
Oh, God.
So it goes, stand in the place where you live, and look north. So anyway, Stand by REM, highly recommended. Kind of one of their kind of later songs, not that much later, but it was when they started getting like happy, like on the shiny happy people type of vibe and stuff like that, which is kind
I was
of
in college at that time.
But I
was
still like that
fun.
song Stand.
Yeah.
So I recommend it to you guys, Stand by REM.
I'm gonna work in trivia to my what are you listening to? So anyone who gets the name of this right, go ahead and put it in the text in the chat. Down in the chat, if you answer correctly, you get a fill-a-bag sticker. At work we've been having our end of the week kind of stand-ups with like 150 people on the Zoom, and we have an intro and an outro. I think of this show with the outro, and the outro, the guy played the outro and it's been in my head. It's one of those sticky songs. Who sings the song? Safety dance, don't safety dance.
I know
Don't
this song.
safety dance.
Men
You
Without
can't answer,
Hats.
Lenny.
I can't answer.
Oh man.
Oh, sorry, I blew it.
All right, you just fucked up
Who?
the trivia. That's all
I
right.
didn't get through it.
Rafa did. Men
Oh.
Without Hats, Safety Dance. A song for the times. A song for the
You
times.
can dance if you want to. That one?
Yeah. You can put on your mask if you want to. No, I think that's required. And if you go to the Winn-Dixie, well, you get the immunity herd.
Something like that.
Oh, that was pretty good right there, huh? That's an original. That's not Men Without Hats. That's original. Hey, Lenny, cheers.
All right, Griff, grace us with one of your funk tunes.
You guys drinking one of the last Coronas?
I'm sorry, what?
No, I've got a few more in there,
grace us-
Bobby.
Griff, grace us with one of your funk or
Funny enough, it's an old one from 1981 by Paul Davis. Cool Night.
Cool Night
Yeah, you
by
gotta check
Paul
it out.
Davis.
Real
I'll check
smooth.
that out.
Nice.
I'll write it down because I know I'll
Gonna
forget.
be a cool night like that.
Yeah.
Home
That one?
by the firelight
Oh, Lenny likes it.
Yeah.
and something like that, right? I like that song. It's very
That's a good
romantic.
I'm all about the ballads.
And how
Yes,
about you?
very
Last but
nice.
not least, Mr. Bobby Haney.
Honestly, I haven't been listening to anything.
Oh,
I haven't
boo.
been trapped at the house. I've just been going to work and doing work outside, and I haven't been listening to anything.
Been
You
listening
don't
to
put music on
nature.
when you're working?
The
Come
sound.
on, Bobby.
Right?
What about
I
the
think it's something
wee-oo,
anyway.
wee-oo, wee-oo? You
The
hear that a
high-low,
bit,
the
right?
high-low, we don't play that here.
No.
Griffith's opening up his shades to get a little light in there. Look at him. Get your vitamin D, buddy. Get your vitamin D. It's very good for you for the corona.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next section.
I didn't get to
Oh, wait.
put
I
a
forgot about
song.
Anna because she's behind me and I don't see her.
I don't like this setup.
Back him.
Okay, go ahead, Anna.
It's a little melancholy, and I never listen to them. But Aphex Twin, number 3.
Ooh.
That's it. Thanks. Bye.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Does it have words?
Nope, it doesn't.
It's an instrumental.
It's an instrumental. It's so good.
All right, so now that's what you're listening to, and now we move on to the talk of the town. And the first thing I want to start with, because you guys were talking about testing and all that stuff, turns out Anna sent me this thing today, the Ethos Pharmacy on the Key, which is right in the square there by American Postal. Well, in the square. It's the Ethos Pharmacy. They are offering the antibodies test. So if you think you've already had it, and you want to double check, it's $64. What do you have to say there?
Already.
What is it?
I signed up.
Oh, you did?
Oh, you
I
did?
think you schedule, right? You schedule an appointment.
We talked about this
Call
yesterday. Like,
Ethos.
I know I had it. Let me find out. I think that's how people are going to be able to get back to normality. Once we know.
Yes, please.
Oh, what's that?
Manny's live calling Ethos
I'm
right
calling Ethos right now.
It's $64 for the thing.
Are they the first ones to ever offer it? I haven't heard anybody
No,
else
I got
even
another
talking
thing by
about it.
another a lab here in Miami that's also offering it.
Yeah, but you have to go to
it's a blood
Kendall to
test.
get it.
So they test your blood for antibodies for coronavirus.
But-
Hey, how you
antibodies.
doing?
But
Is,
since we
Javier
don't
there,
know,
please?
It comes back 4
But
to 6
since we-
weeks.
yeah, we don't. Oh, it comes back. What is it? What'd you say?
It
No,
comes back 4 to 6 weeks.
no.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know
After the
yet
beat.
if you had it, if you're really not getting it
Dude,
again.
if you
But-
have
I mean,
the
probably.
antibodies and you can get it again, that means that we're going to be in quarantine forever because a vaccine wouldn't help either. You would get the vaccine and then 2 weeks later your antibodies.
Why do you say quarantine?
I don't know. Quinine quarantine.
Valentine,
Is
quarantine.
it tomato?
I'd say how I want to say it.
Great.
I mean, it's just like the regular flu, you know? You're not going to, just because you get the flu shot doesn't mean you're
the
immune
website
every
again?
year.
Well,
Well, not every year, but hopefully for the next, couple
People are
weeks.
still getting
You
H1N1.
do it right there.
Nah.
All right.
okay.
All right.
So
well,
get
if
your test
if
and
I
then,
have
you
the
know.
antibodies, I'm definitely
All right. We get the results of the test.
Gonna lick the railing
I'm
on the
licking all
staircase.
the door handles. I don't care anymore.
Today, I'm not
Guys,
gonna lie,
I
I
have
lost
the,
my cool, and I started freaking out and at
yeah.
the Winn-Dixie, and I started breathing all over the place, all in anger, in a fit.
And I can't
uh,
wear a mask.
I couldn't handle the
She wore it
mask.
for 5 minutes and she couldn't.
I ripped it off.
Yeah.
Any toilet paper at Winn-Dixie?
Anyway,
Not that I saw. Sorry, I didn't see Johnny, but then when I was leaving Colony just now, there was a guy with Winn-Dixie bags, and he had Brawny and Angel Soft.
ooh.
And I freaked out, and I'm like, "What? Did they restock in the afternoon? Because I went to Winn-Dixie in the morning."
Okay, wait.
I
Back
or-
to Ethos Pharmacy and the antibodies test. So it's not for sure. What did they say on the phone, Manny?
Thanks. Yeah, I just spoke to Ethos Pharmacy over there in the square, and they are absolutely giving the test. You have to register. You have to do it online.
I did
You
it.
go to ethoswellnesspharmacy.com, and you can register there. Then they'll get back to you on and when you have to go and or when your appointment is. And here's the great part: you get the results in 10 minutes.
Oh, what? That's amazing.
I'm going to say it again. You get your results in 10 minutes.
That's crazy.
And this is only if you think you had it. This is not a test, just to be clear, because people don't understand.
I've been saying that I thought I had it back in December, but maybe not. Maybe not.
I think I had it. I was definitely.
I had something. I think I might have had like
Lenny was in San
Heineken
Francisco
19.
in
Heineken
January.
19.
Yeah, you had the Heineken one, the Hialeah version.
Oh, no, it was the Stella. I had the Stella 19. Definitely the
you
Stella.
had the Hialeah version. You went to Hialeah and you came back and you were sick. I know that one. I was in San Francisco and I came back and I was
had it.
deathly ill. I almost died. I really, really think I had it. And if that's the case,
Right.
Tom is a fucking cockroach. Sorry for the bad words, little boy.
Shoot, Lenny. Maybe I got it from you, Lenny. You were in San Francisco.
I was. And I came back sick as a dog for 5 weeks. Sorry, for 5 weeks I was super, super sick.
Oh no, but that was later. That was like in January. I was in December.
It was end of January and most of February.
Well, it only took one person from Wuhan to come to the U.S. in November and spread everywhere.
For sure.
Probably been here for a long time.
I agree 100%. For sure it was.
I'm
For
crossing
sure.
my fingers that I take that damn test and it tells me that I'm good to go.
Because then you can
We should
lick
do
your
odds.
candles.
We should do like a betting game. Like, who really thinks? Like, what are the odds that you really got
I think
it?
you're more
Yeah,
likely.
but then
than
that
me, though,
leads to
Lenny.
the question of, can you get it again? You know, so they don't know that yet.
And that's
It's a chance I'm willing to take.
we should have a doctor on here that knows what the hell they're talking about to maybe tell us that.
Okay.
We should have
Nobody
someone on
knows.
here.
We get all
Nobody
our
knows.
information from forwarded
Chats.
messages in group chats, okay? That's where we get our medical information on this show, and we're sticking to it. We don't want to. We don't want to talk to any stupid doctors.
Chat.
They don't know anything, okay? Okay, so moving on. Finally, something happened that wasn't related to coronavirus.
What?
A bunch of
Oh,
pictures
yeah.
show up in the chats. Oh my God! Somebody's trying to hold up the Shell gas station. They caught two of the guys. One of the guys ran off. There's a gun. Blah blah blah. This all happened on Saturday, if I'm remembering right. So
Yeah.
what turns out that really happened is that nobody tried to hold up the Shell gas station.
What?
Some guys drove into the key, and there's a license plate reader at the entrance to the key, and it checks to see if you have a stolen car or not, almost instantly. And so this thing at the entrance to the key sees this car, it's stolen. It tells the cops, hey, this car is here and it's stolen. Go pull them over. They pull the guys over. There's a gun in the car or a weapon in the car, and one of the guys takes off running into people's backyards, and then there's like a helicopter over Key Biscayne and all this stuff. And then they finally caught that guy, and that was it. So there was no holdup. There was no nothing. And I'm not even sure. I guess the crime was stealing a car.
No.
Before coming into the key.
Do you know
And,
more?
well,
Not paying the toll.
Not bad.
that. And they had a gun in the car, too. There was a gun in the car, and there was 3 guys, and 1 guy ran away.
It was
Having a gun in the
that's what
car
I
is
said.
not illegal in Florida.
Okay, but
A weapon, they
Just
said. It had.
creepy.
You sure it was a
Right.
gun?
I wasn't sure it was a gun. It was a weapon. I have no idea. But either way, I'm so glad that, first of all, it's time of Corona. What the F? There's no guests allowed on Key Biscayne unless you're, essential, whatever, supposedly, right? Aren't they turning away bicyclists and stuff? Those people shouldn't have been on the key.
I don't know.
Blow the bridge.
Maybe they were from the key. I don't know if they were.
I don't know. I haven't heard.
I still think they need to crack down a little harder on the people coming in, because I see a lot of the cyclists. They still manage to sneak in, and I see like tourists going around. And then the other day we were at the liquor store, and there were some people there that definitely weren't from the key.
Yeah, they were
The
not.
guy delivering the liquor to the liquor store should not be allowed on the key.
What? that guy's the
He's
most
essential.
essential.
He's essential. He's essential.
The most essential.
Sorry, that's essential.
That's essential.
That is majorly essential.
Although we did leave the key this weekend to go buy liquor, and that was a great little outing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went to Total Wine.
They deliver it to your car,
my
Lenny.
house?
Don't worry.
Yeah, they deliver it to your car. So it's
Which one did you go?
to Miami Beach.
You order online,
Yeah.
and then when the order is ready, you go, and they have a little system where you park in a spot, and you text them, and you say, I'm in spot number 1. And they come out with the box of
yeah.
liquor and drop it off in your car.
I tried to support our local business and called Stefano's for delivery, and they had nothing I wanted.
They
Yeah.
had nothing. We went
They
there in
didn't have
person.
Tito
They had
vodka.
nothing.
The
They had
store
no
is
Tito vodka.
the store is empty.
The
It's kinda
store is
crazy.
more than half empty.
Yeah.
They didn't have Don Julio Reposado.
What's
Oh, what's going on there?
I can't read
Are they
it.
closing? I have a feeling they're closing.
Looks
Type
like
in
a
the chat,
call.
dude. Okay, so that's it for the high speed chase or whatever you want to call that bit of non news. But they did catch the guys, so that's
Listen,
good, right?
it was interesting.
It was interesting.
All right. The croc. Oh, okay. This is my favorite topic, and this is probably going to be the only topic. The stanky shoes outside the apartments. Have you guys seen this? It's a very Miami / Key Biscayne thing. It's not been reported anywhere in the media because it would only come from forwarded group chats and Santeria type thinking.
I
And
agree with
it's-
patas.
so
Patas shoes is
So
gross.
this is
but
what's
I like-
happening on the quay, and you only notice it in the apartment buildings. Somebody sent out a message that said, the coronavirus is on your shoe. You got to leave your shoes outside so you don't get coronavirus inside your house. So now you go through the apartment buildings, and every couple of doors, there's somebody who has a massive pile of shoes, all presumably covered in coronavirus, sitting outside their door.
I just noticed that, by the way, in my building.
Of course, they got the text message too, so whatever,
I
you
get
know.
the text
But-
message. I'm
Tony
like, walk
already
around the house.
nixed it.
I've been leaving my shoes outside for years.
So I just wanted to bring it up because I think it's funny that people think that the coronavirus is on their shoe. Okay, like you got it off the floor, and it's not on your shirt; it's on your shoe. And
All the
then,
thing gravity.
and then when you get outside again to go outside, right after you wash your hands or whatever, you've got to put on your shoe. Now, if this is anything but a loafer, you're going to have to touch it, covered in coronavirus. So the whole thing is just so stupid. And then your neighbors are walking by your presumably Corona shoes that you think are Corona. Thank God the rest of us don't. We just think
And
they're
coughing
gnarly
on it.
shoes.
Like who knows? It's silly. It's a little silly to me.
This
Sorry.
isn't, you don't see this in the news because...
It's a fun thought. I put my shoes out there, and I thought it was fun.
Well, I'm just telling everybody, get your stanky ass shoes back in your house. I think Mayor Davey needs to put out a thing on a weekly update that says, put your damn stanky shoes in your house.
Rafa,
Especially
put
if
your
you have
mask
Corona
on
them.
and be quiet. Put
You
your
should
mask
get-
on and forget
You
it.
should get code enforcement out there and start issuing some fines.
Well, Key Colony told some people, hey, get these shoes out of here.
Key
'cause
Colony
this is
sent
gross.
out a letter.
It happened to me. They called my house.
Oh, really?
They called your house?
Griff is a stanky shoe guy.
Would you have
He
a pair
believed
of
the hype.
Alpargatas out there?
No, so what happened was that so when this started, my wife was in Hawaii, and I started noticing that throughout the days as they were going on throughout the hallway, there was a bunch of shoes, and the majority of it was like Latin families, and they believe in all the superstition stuff. So I didn't really pay attention to it. But then my wife came back from Hawaii, and she's like, "Oh, let's leave our shoes outside." I was like, "No, that's gross." She's like, "No, everybody's doing it. Look down there." And I look, and I see everybody with their little shoes. So I did it. So for like 5 days, I'd like put my feet on, and then I get a phone call from security. He's like, "Hey, bud, you got to get your shoes inside the house."
Listen, I dropped.
So I stopped.
I don't know if it was on your birthday or what that I dropped something off at your house.
Yeah.
And it wasn't one or two pairs. It was like 5 pairs of shoes. Okay. It was like God was
you know my
Birkenstocks.
wife.
Okay.
I had my one pair. She had like 4 pairs. Like, oh, today it's sandals. Today it's this,
I also did it. I'm laughing, but I also did it.
That's funny. By the way, I've only been wearing one pair of shoes this whole time since I've been in quarantine, and it's I have these disgusting. Should I touch them? Should I? Hawaiian flip flops.
Havaiana.
Yeah. If you're leaving flip flops outside, then you already are walking in barefoot with the whole coronavirus anyway.
Exactly.
What's
I've
the
only
point?
worn one pair of underwear this whole time. So these
Ew.
Anna, he's all yours.
You keep flipping them inside out.
I don't want it.
It's
And
that
now
since
you're
they're
wearing
in
them
my
on your
pants,
face.
I know they're protected from the corona. All the other stuff is just kind of out there,
You're so gross, Rafa.
That makes sense. That makes sense. It does.
So gross.
All right,
so
that's
what's
all the
next
topics I
week
have.
now?
I don't know if you guys
Wow,
have
look at
anything
that
else.
beer delivery.
Beer delivery.
Yeah.
Is there liquor delivery on the key?
Cheers, Johnny.
Did she leave her shoes outside of the room is my only question.
Cheers. So anyway, those are all the topics I have. Somebody saw a crocodile on Crandon. That happens
That's
all the
awesome.
time.
Manny,
That's cool.
what's up with that croc that you showed, that big one in the Pines
There
Canal,
were
wherever it was?
two. There were as Lenny has been saying, and I've certainly been seeing. Nature has exploded. Life has exploded. I just saw actually somebody today, Louis Aguirre, who's the news guy. He's a friend of ours, a friend of Philibag, and
Friend of
he posted
yours.
a picture. Friend of Philibag, ours. I say ours because it's we're a community. So, and you're part of that community also, Ralph. I've seen you picking shit up.
Oh yeah.
He saw from a condo, or somebody posted from a condo, like 2 sawfish swimming in the bay. You know, we've seen sawfish out here before, but
those are rare.
They're definitely rare. There's only like 5,000 of them. Anyway, somebody posted or shared a picture. We don't really know who took the picture or if it was photoshopped. I mean, I don't know, but it went around the circles. It was on the internet, so it must be true. So there was a picture of a crocodile in the bike lane, like just coming up on the green bike lane, inbound to the quay on Saturday, I think. And then on Sunday or Monday, somebody sent me a picture from their home in South Mashta with a huge crocodile.
That's the one I'm talking about. That thing looked like a grandpa.
It looked big. It was super wide and fat. Yeah. So.
Hey, where did they see the sawfish? Just curious.
The sawfish, it looked like it was in the bay, like by downtown.
Wow.
Yeah. It was because it was shallow. The water was, it was 8-10 feet of water. You could see the bottom.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, Rafa, I just got a call from Ethos a few minutes ago. Do you want an update on kind of what's going on there?
Wait, again? Okay.
Yes.
Well, no, yeah, I called them the first time, and then they called me back. The owner called me back, actually.
Oh, nice.
And I told him, I said, hey, listen, I was calling, and I just, they told me I can go to the website, and we're on Rat Radio right now. And he's like, oh, wow, yeah. So he tells me that they had initially planned to do this test, to be able to provide this test, and somehow they had to get approved. They had to get permission from the board of the association at that mall. Those are all condos, right? So they have a board, and the board initially turned them down, saying, look, we don't want to do that here. And he had ordered like 1,000 tests. And so he didn't know what he was going to do. And then the next day he got a call back, and he's thinking that some of the board members maybe had just kind of been telling people around, and people are like, yeah, why wouldn't you do that? Let's do it.
Yeah.
So they gave him permission to do it. He has 1,000 tests. I said, are you sure? Are they going to shut you down? He said, he's a private business. They can't really shut him down.
Plus, nobody's supposed to be around there anyway.
It's a pharmacy and it's a test. I mean, what's the difference?
Right.
They could revoke his business license on the key. No, I mean
that's silly. They can. You know what? Tom?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, hopefully the village doesn't get involved and shut it down.
But I don't get it. He's a pharmacy and an essential service. Yes, Griff.
Okay, so that's fine, and that's the reason why he's doing it. So there are 200. He said his phone has blown up. He came back and he was like, he's never had so many calls before. Obviously,
I'm surprised he got that many tests. That's a good amount of tests for.
He got 1,000 tests. He has 242. Check that. 243 people registered. I just went in and did that before making this announcement. Did you register already, Lenny?
Yeah, I did it like a couple days ago.
Oh, you already did.
Yeah, it's a pinprick. It's simple. It's a pinprick on your finger.
So, Lenny, what was your result?
I haven't gotten it yet. It hasn't started yet.
Oh, you haven't done the test yet?
No, but I signed up for it.
Okay, I got you.
And I saw how they do it, and it's like when you test blood for diabetes. It's that simple.
I have a question for Bob. Bob, have you heard anything about the government, since all these tests get registered, that you guys are going to find out who has it? So you guys are going to go to like addresses?
I know by zip code there's already a map like that's out to the public, Florida Department of Health.
But it's more for like first responders. It's more for like you guys. So you guys, I guess, check up on it or whatever.
I don't know. I just know that if an address comes up, I haven't had one personally, but in dispatch on addresses in general, if there's any history of anything, it kind of comes up, like say, oh, there was this like an act of violence at this address, that'll come up on the dispatch, like, oh, if you passed, call of this or past call of that. So if they have any information to show it might be a COVID call, then that'll be on there. They always ask the questions.
I'm curious, how many people are actually in my building are sick.
Dude, Key Colony's like a cruise ship right now, man.
It sucks, man, because you don't know. And like, for instance, the other day I saw some lady spraying alcohol on the button, and now the button doesn't work. These people, man.
Hey, you want to hear something?
Oh, this is a good one.
So Anna and I have been using our feet, like our shoes, to press the buttons on the elevators and stuff like that. Because I figure
because we already know that shoes are covered with corona. We've already established that.
In my logic, the bottom of the shoe is the least covered, right? So I'm thinking to myself,
What? You're stepping on people hawkering. Oh my God, stop.
Listen, nobody should be touching those buttons anyway. People should be touching it with a tissue, okay? So doing it with the shoe is fine.
Just wash your hands when you get
think
home.
about it this way.
Yeah.
There's a deadly virus, and Key Colony is like ground zero. And then, so I'm using my foot, so the guy sees me on the camera after a couple weeks, and he goes, he says something like, "Can you stop being so uneducated?"
I almost went downstairs to be like,
Why? That's awesome.
I almost argued with him about like, this is very dangerous, I don't want to touch it, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, okay, sure. And since then, I've been using like sticks and like other things to not touch the buttons at Key Colony, because they're all they're sobados, you know? I don't know how to tell you. Like they're totally. It's the most touched thing in the whole town. Those buttons.
Yeah.
The guy was only thinking of it one-sided, like as if you're. Like, or we think it goes both ways. Like, if I have corona and I don't know it, and I'm pressing the button, wouldn't you rather the gross bacteria from my shoe be on the button than my coronavirus be on the button?
Well, if you're leaving your shoes outside, then you got corona on that button already. Yeah.
It's everywhere, man.
Yeah. No, the fact of the matter is that you don't wipe your face, don't rub your eye. That's why they want everyone wearing masks, not because it actually can stop the droplets. It just prevents you from
touching.
Well, I failed at that today.
Well, if I ain't got it on my hand, then I can't even touch my face. Anyway.
Well,
I predict that in the future there will be many less colds and flus, because people are just going to change their hygiene.
Well, suddenly nobody's dying from the flu or pneumonia or nothing. Somebody was parachuting the other day and they died of corona.
And nobody's going to dance close together ever again. Sure.
No.
A lot of conspiracies. A lot.
Everybody's going to be wearing a mask from now on. Virtual school, virtual everything. Nobody's
Virtual
coming in
school
contact.
So let me remind everybody that it's April 8th, 2020. This is the No One's Listening Show, episode 170. My name's Rafa.
Wow.
I'm here with Lenny.
Hi.
Bobby. Say something, because they can hear. It's for sound.
Oh, corona.
Manny
Make it 2, Bobby.
and Griff.
What's up, guys?
And
I'm not here because I don't have a square. Honestly, I'm not coming next week. It's fine.
Anna,
I'm just
you're
not going to
here
come
for-
next week. It's okay.
I feel like you're in the Middle
Anna's
East.
getting relegated in the back
I'm just
here.
not going to come next week, baby. That's it.
Yo, yeah, Anna, you better. You're my only girl.
So wait,
Stand 10 feet
because I know
back
there's some
from him.
first-time listeners, and you can subscribe to the podcast at ratradio.net. And we're also doing this show on Zoom right now for those of you who are listening on Facebook. But I don't know, we're not very good at sending out all the links and stuff like that. But you can subscribe at ratradio.net and hear all the old shows and get them delivered straight into your podcast app, so you don't have to be here live to do all this stuff. Anyway,
By the way-
that's all the topics I have. I was wondering if you guys have calendar or anything else.
Just really quick, a listener said that there's a sign up in Geek Colony that says "Do not touch with foot."
No way.
That's what someone wrote.
I did
I
it.
say you started using your forehead, Rafa.
I did it.
Okay, sorry. What was the next thing you were saying? I started to interrupt. That was
That if
funny.
you guys want to talk about
I have
anything else,
I have a question for the panel, and maybe people can chime in also on the chat. There are places that are still, in the spirit of our openings and closings segment, plenty of places still open. Where have you been? Where are you taken out from? Where are you going? I ordered from Randazzo. I went to Randazzo's the other day. Help support those guys. They're good people.
You got a meatball?
I got the meat. Yep, I got the chicken Francois.
Meatball.
Kind of, that's usually one of my go-tos at La Scala. So I wanted to, compare them.
Compare and contrast. Okay, so who wins, La Scala or Randazzo's?
Well, I can't really judge it because I wasn't in the restaurant. I think I have to do a takeout of La Scala to judge it.
Okay,
so it's
fair
or
answer.
go into Randazzo's.
I take out from Scala only.
Once.
I did
One
Origins.
time.
I ordered Origins, and I had takeout from there, and I did some of the Indian. I always forget the name of that place. What's it called?
Aisha.
Yes, thank you.
I love
I did
Aisha.
Indian, and
Just
I
expensive.
did Origins.
I
Just
did
to
Origin
support.
also.
And again, Stefano's, but they didn't have anything I wanted. I just had to make do with what they had.
Boo.
Yeah, we tried there too.
Yeah. Trying.
Let's see comments from the Peanut Gallery. Nash here says that it was actually a firearm and not any other type of weapon, so thanks for that.
Thank you, Nash.
And let me check some of the Facebook comments. Well, there's a sign that don't touch with your foot. You guys can thank me for that. And some people say hello. The cyclists are still crazy. And your song is named Angel from Montgomery. Lenny,
Thank
not
you.
Angel from Memphis.
Thank you. Mike Davey, whoever said it. I know it's
Let me
Mike
give some shout outs to some of the people in here listening. Rafa, Lenny, Manny. Oh, no. Okay, wait a second.
Boo.
Sue Kemper from Ohio. All the way to go. Cincinnati, what's up? That's Bob Kemper's sister. She's lovely. Michael Kelly, Bill Stevens, Tony Winton. Bicycle Bill Durham.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Hey, Bill.
Always great. I could sense that you were here, Bill.
Bill's
Rita
got these
Cabasas.
videos on YouTube. If
They're
you're
really great.
about,
I
they're
love
called
those.
Bill
I
and
told him the
Bell.
other day.
You
I
should
saw him at
check
the
them out.
store. I
Don't forget-
did,
Don't forget Heather Henderson from Henderson Park.
Christopher Sims is watching. So is Rose Haney, Bobby.
Oh, I'm surprised I haven't
Rose
got
Haney's-
that yet.
What's up,
Rose might be watching from the sandbar out there. Her
Yes.
her Facebook videos have been great. Rose, keep them coming. Philip Meager is on here. Chiri Lola, Chiri Boga. ¿Qué tal, Chiri? ¿Cómo está?
You know what? She's a first-time listener. She's like, I love this. She's been commenting all
Awesome.
the time.
Subscribe.
Yeah, I think she might have seen your stinky shoes in the hallway, Griff.
Maybe.
And she doesn't approve. Kevin Goodwin, always friend of the show. Kevin, how are you? Christine Ortega, Emmy Shanley. What's up, Emmy?
Hey, Chrissy.
Bill Peters. Wow, old school Key Biscayne. Bill, what's going on, dude? Man, you hanging out with these guys? Myra Pena. Hey, Myra. All right.
A lot of people out there.
All right.
I want to
lot
ask
of people.
our young listener here, Nash, how he heard about Rat Radio, because our demographics
He's
are
a young
skewed a
one
little
for
bit to like
sure.
40 plus.
His pops.
Dad. He says his dad.
Nice. Okay.
His dad,
See?
yeah.
But
Thank
let's
you,
get the
Eric.
word out there to the younger generation. We need a young KB
See
to
what they're up
contribute.
to.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need to learn about the KB Crips.
Rafa, you better get a blue bandana if we're gonna get the Crips on here.
Why is that?
That red's not gonna work.
The KB Crips,
Oh, the
man.
Crips.
Come on now.
All right. You guys, this is nice. I'm glad we get to see each other because I don't get to see all of you guys all the time. So it's nice to see you guys healthy. And thank you, Rafa, for
Yeah, if you want to see Lenny, just go out on the water somewhere in the paddle zones, and she'll be out there.
That's
look
nice.
for a pink paddleboard. I'm by myself. No one's around me.
With a mask.
No mask. When I'm out there, no mask. No, just
All right.
driving.
Oh, wait. I did have one last thing, and I haven't seen it yet, but I want to see it, and I can't talk about this in the rag because I don't want to put out, like, kind of hearsay. But did anybody watch the council meeting and see council
I
member
Yes.
Loretto?
What happened?
Wait.
I didn't see him.
So
Are you talking about the call that went in?
I got no.
No.
First, okay. During the council meeting, somebody called in and did like a Baba Booey, Howard Stern's dick thing. They didn't actually do it that way. Somebody just called in. They put him on live, and he said something like "the tip of my dick," and then he ran away.
That's exactly what he said.
Right there in the live
Sorry.
council
I
meeting.
know it's
I like
inappropriate.
Mike's response. Wait, what did he say? He was like, oh,
But that's not what Rafa's talking about.
No.
whatever. Okay.
Anyway, what I was talking about was Councilmember Loretto. Somebody said he was coughing, and then I got an email from somebody else. He's like, "You got to watch the meeting because he's coughing a lot." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I'm not going to
haven't
speculate
seen
on a guy coughing, but I wanted to know. I haven't seen it yet. I was wondering, like, how bad was it? Really that bad?"
Well, I mean, I realized that he was coughing, so I was like, oh, man, by the way, this guy's my next door neighbor. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
great. This guy down the hall sick, and I'm going to get sick. But then I started looking at...
Better press those
Yeah.
buttons with your feet, bro.
Yeah.
But then I started looking
Dad,
at
don't leave the house, Griff.
I started looking at old council meetings, and I guess he's had that cough for a while now.
Oh, okay.
Plus, if he's sick,
Yeah, there you
whatever.
go.
It was a Zoom meeting,
Yeah,
right?
man.
Like, who
Jeez.
cares? He's sick. He's sick at home.
I
Well,
smoked
we're all
cigarettes for
covered.
20 years. I
20?
You know,
Yeah, I cough
yeah,
every
20. I mean, I quit 12 years ago. So
Oh,
I'm
you?
almost
I thought you meant him.
Yeah, I did. So, you know, and I probably cough every morning when I
Yeah.
wake up.
I don't.
All right.
I do.
Well, on that
That's
note,
what happens when you get old, Rafa. Get ready.
Well, Rafa has the morning cough.
yeah, I have a smoker's cough.
Yeah.
On that note, I would like to thank all of you for being here. It's been a wonderful time. I want to thank all the listeners, and I want to remind you to subscribe to the show at ratradio.net, blah, 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 blah. Anything else? If not, everybody say bye and wave. Bye.
Wait, I missed
Brian,
you.
what about the yacht club?
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
Yacht Club.
you guys, I've been asking.
Wait,
anything
you
else?
cut
Anything
the
else?
show.
Anything
We
Yeah,
have
else?
more
I got-
things
I've
to
got another-
say.
I said something
Come
else,
on,
and I got the
We'll
bird
edit
like,
that
hey,
out.
what about the topic about this? And
Anna, get Rafa
Okay.
another drink, please. If,
Stop.
So he can settle down.
Everybody quiet for 1 second. Bobby, tell us what is happening at the yacht club.
no, I honestly I don't know. I've heard that there have been people congregating,
Oh?
obviously in parties over 10, and they had to send out an email telling people to stop doing that. Stop doing that. You know.
Like it's...
I got that email.
I don't know if it's on the boat or if it's at the crane.
I think it was
You
a
know,
mixture.
somebody might have gone on One Dixie and then gone to the crane right after. And after the last show last week, that's when the crackdown of the email got sent out.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
There's pictures.
Nah, no pictures.
Griff, were you the guy with the blow-up doll?
No. No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
All right. I'm just curious. You know.
In other words, I wasn't the only guy there. There was a bunch of
I
other
think-
people.
I think-
Oh, so there was... Wait, so Griff,
So there was congregating.
when you went, Griff, there was a lot of people at the yacht club?
All right, look, let's keep in mind, I hadn't left my house in 2 weeks. After the show, I had a beer, and I went with my wife to go see the sunset. Nobody was there, but
Oh, okay.
people started coming up to do the same thing, and we left. That was last week. So who knows how many times before and after I
Yeah.
came that people did that. And plus, apparently people are tarpon fishing every day.
Yeah, I think what happened was that people would go out there and people were being responsible, but as other people show up, you talk to people and you do it in social distancing. And I don't know if maybe there was too much or someone saw something as too much, but I think what Bobby's alluding to is that the yacht club sent out a letter, and the letter said it was a very clear sort of warning and guidance,
Right.
saying that you cannot go out there unless you need to work on your boat. You can't congregate there, and if you do, that the village had actually contacted the club, and they may have to.
Stop
I don't know.
construction or whatever.
Yeah, construction's got to stop, or if you're going to do that, then you can't have people coming here to work, and it would hamper the efforts of moving the yacht club construction project forward. And basically, you don't want to be the one responsible for that. What it didn't say was that you can't go out on your boat, but maybe I don't know if that's the rule or not. I don't have a boat, not even a member there. So, but people should be able to. I think people should be able to go out on their boat from the club if they're doing it in a responsible manner. It's just like the beach. It's just like the beach. You can go out and exercise and walk on the beach if you do it responsibly. We couldn't do that. People showed up with coolers and blankets and chairs, and
dogs.
Unfortunately, we're a victim of our own socializing norm that we have. One of the things that we love about the Key is that we can socialize, maybe, or where you see people and you can socialize, or anywhere and all the time, and it's multi-generational. But that's not going to work right now.
I think you should be able to take out your boat if you're solo or being responsible. I think the yacht club has dock masters there that they can kind of control the situation and be like, there's too many people walking on your boat, and control that. But if you're, my dad, he's 75. He likes to go on his boat and he goes by himself. To restrict him of that is not good. That's his little peacetime. That's his, Bobby, your mom loves to go on her boat. and do her little time. I think it's important to be able to do it. And I think that the yacht club should police it a little bit, and people should be responsible and not be assholes. So
Nobody's got time for that. That's
people.
the truth.
Huh?
Nobody has the time for that, to police anybody.
The truth is people. The truth is people are uneducated, like Rafa touching the elevator with his foot.
I got that idea from
And people and people have no manners and end up congregating. Is the truth? I mean, that's that's just the truth.
No, but I do have to admit that one day that I did go, that one day that I went,
Broke the camel's back.
Very separated. Very separate.
Yeah.
6 feet apart.
Like 10 feet apart.
Anna's about 6 feet apart behind Rafa.
Yeah, that's why
I can't see her.
Don't worry, I'm not coming next week. So
That's her quarantine family. She's fine.
yeah.
We have one of our listeners, one of our Zoom listeners, just chimed in. Alvaro Silva, friend of the show. Here we could see the panel talking, and his dog had to step outside to take care of business.
Yeah, he was in here earlier.
Dog had to step outside. Indy had to step out and take a dump during the show, during the Zoom portion of the show. So there's Indy.
That's
Indy's
funny.
a great dog. Yeah.
Okay, pictures of a dog taking a dump, I think, are right where we can leave it, guys.
Rolf was this close from ending it 5 minutes ago. I love it.
Yeah.
Suffocating under the mask.
All right.
Rafa, that was like Mike taking that extra call last night at the council meeting when public comment was
And it was the
down,
dick guy. Yeah.
And Bob, public comments were over, but he took the extra call and he knew it. He's like, man, damn.
I do have a question for the panel.
Oh.
What is going to be the first place you go to on the key once this whole thing's over?
Yacht club.
Yacht club.
Beach.
Yacht club.
Besides the beach and the yacht club, I'm looking for bars and restaurants here.
Oh.
The bar at the yacht club.
Tumbo's is closed. We're done. We can't go to Tumbo's anymore.
Oh, it's closed? No.
Anna, this thing's never going to be over.
No.
Sir P.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to get that test, and we're going to know that once you have it, you're not going to have it again. We're all going to be having fun again.
Yeah.
No, it'll definitely be over. But even when it's over, it's going to be a little different.
Nothing is over.
All right, I have one more thing to say, and then, Ralphie, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Okay.
It's my brother Justin's birthday. Happy birthday, Justin. I have an 8:30 Zoom birthday
Happy
party.
birthday, Justin.
So he's
Happy
28
birthday.
today. Justin Andrews. Happy birthday, Justin. That's
Happy
it.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Good.
Woo.
Okay. So is that
Zoom
it?
birthday.
Is that it? Can I say the final goodbyes to everybody? Thanks for being here. RatRadio.net. Lenny, Bobby, Griff, Manny, Nash, Heather, all the people in the Facebook thing live. Anna, too, is here.
Wow.
Love you, Anna.
Keep your distance.
Love you, Lenny.
But if you want to social distance together, give me a call. We'll hang out.
Down.
See you later, guys.
I want to go on next.
Later.
Let's go on
Bye.
next.
Thanks for listening.
Love you.
Good night.
Later.
Stay off that chat roulette, man.